Fear. It stops people dead in their tracks. Makes them hesitate. Makes them second-guess themselves. And that hesitation, that's the gap between success and failure. Between winning and losing. Between being the hunter and being the prey. Most people fear fear itself. They try to run from it. Avoid it. Pretend it doesn't exist. But that's exactly why it controls them. That's why they freeze when it matters most. Because they don't understand fear. They don't know how to use it. But I do. I don't run from fear. I don't let it dictate my choices. I hunt it. I track it. I face it head on. And when I do, something changes. Fear stops being a wall and becomes a weapon. If you want to be unstoppable, you have to learn this skill. You have to become the person who doesn't break under pressure, but sharpens under it. You have to rewire the way you think about fear. Start with this quiz. What is fear, really? Most people think fear is an enemy, that it's there to stop them. But fear is just information. It's a signal. It tells you that you're stepping into the unknown, that you're about to do something difficult. That's not a bad thing. That's the beginning of something great. True hunters don't panic when they feel fear. They recognize it. They acknowledge it. Then they move forward anyway. You see, fear has a weakness. It only has power if you obey it. The moment you stop running from it, the moment you push forward despite it, its grip loosens. Fear is loudest right before you break through. It's at its worst when you're on the edge of something important. Most people retreat at that moment. That's why they stay average. That's why they never reach their potential. Because they let fear decide for them. But those who push through, those who lean in when it's uncomfortable, they're the ones who become something greater. So here's how you train yourself to face fear like a hunter. Step 1. Reframe fear as fuel. When I feel fear, I don't see it as a problem. I see it as proof that I'm on the right path. If something doesn't scare me, it's probably not pushing me enough. Fear means growth. Fear means challenge. And if you're not challenging yourself, you're staying the same. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in life happens on the other side of fear. The first time you take a risk, the first time you stand up for yourself, the first time you step into something bigger than yourself, fear is always there. But once you push through, you level up. Step 2. Act before fear grows. Fear thrives in hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger it gets. That's why most people struggle. They overthink, they hesitate, and fear wraps around them like chains. I don't let fear grow. The moment I feel it, I act. If I'm about to do something that scares me, I step forward before my mind has a chance to stop me. Speed is everything. Action is everything. A hunter doesn't freeze when he spots his target. He moves. He adapts. He strikes. That's how you have to handle fear. Step 3. Train yourself to seek fear. Most people avoid fear. I chase it. I look for the things that make me uncomfortable, and I attack them head on. Why? Because the more you do it, the more fearless you become. Fear is just a muscle. The more you push against it, the stronger you get. The more you face discomfort, the more natural it becomes. The people who seem fearless, they weren't born that way. They trained themselves by stepping into fear, over and over again, until it lost its power. I put myself in uncomfortable situations on purpose. I speak up when it's easier to stay silent. I take on challenges when my mind says, play it safe. I throw myself into the deep end because I know that's where real growth happens. Step 4. Visualize the hunt, not the failure. Most people let fear paint a picture in their heads. One where they fail, where they embarrass themselves, where everything goes wrong. That's why they freeze. I don't see fear that way. I see myself winning. I visualize the moment I push through. The The moment I succeed, the moment I stand on the other side, stronger than before, your mind will believe whatever you feed it. If you feed it hesitation, it will hesitate. If you feed it power, it will act. You have to take control of the narrative in your head. Step 5. Remember, fear is temporary. Regret is forever. This is the biggest lesson of all. Fear feels big in the moment, but it fades. The regret of not acting, that lasts forever. I refuse to live with regret. I refuse to look back and think, what if I had just stepped forward? What if I had taken that risk? That thought is far worse than any fear I've ever felt. So when fear comes, I remind myself, this moment is temporary. The discomfort will pass. But the decision I make right now, that stays with me. And that's why I always choose to move forward. Fear is not your enemy, it's a test, a challenge, a doorway to a stronger version of yourself. But only if you have the guts to face it. So don't run. Don't hesitate. Don't let fear tell you who you are. Instead, become the hunter. Track fear down, look it in the eye, and then move forward anyway. That's how you conquer it. That's how you win. Be elite. Stay elite.